not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Hello, Blazers. It is your boy Tommy Wiseau, your favorite neighborhood American. Hi, guys. And today, welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, guys, I wanted to do one of these Russian Q&A things once again. Basically, guys, what I did is once again, I went to my Instagram where I asked you guys if you have any personal questions to me or questions about Russia, and I'm gonna be answering the most interesting ones in this video. If you guys want to ask a question next time or introduce a video topic or something like that, make sure to follow my Instagram and maybe you'll make it to the next video. Alright, let's get into the first one. Pyrocynical says that White Putin walk is the big chungus of 2020.
What'd you say?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't remember Big Chungus being a dictator or anything like that, but fair enough. Let's start out with a topical question, I guess, that is pretty relevant right now, pretty relevant to the couple of last videos I made. So how surprised were you at the outcome of the referendum vote on Putin remaining emperor? Now, if you guys don't know, in Russia we recently had a referendum, a big vote on whether we should amend the Russian constitution, and the entire idea of the constitution was basically to give Vladimir Putin the ability to be the president of Russia until 2036. And guess what? The voting has commenced, and according to the results, 72% of Russians voted yes. So yeah, Putin is basically officially, legally going to be ruling Russia forever now. Again, I'm not surprised because once again, just like every election, there's already been hundreds of videos where you can see the election being rigged, votes being thrown in, you know. It's basically the same as any other election in Russia in the past like 10 years at least. They already know a certain percentage that they need to get before the election even begins. Nobody's surprised that this election was fake. I'm not. And honestly, guys, I've become a doomer. I don't expect anything else at this point. I'm like, yeah, 72% voted for Putin being the emperor. I guess, you know. Yeah, I hate my life. I have zero belief in the future of this country. Life's great, guys. I'm doing awesome. I get a lot of questions like this all the time and people are very obsessed with it. I got a whole bunch of questions about, you know, how to date and how to get Russian girls, and also a whole bunch of questions about how to get Russian dudes and how to flirt with them and stuff like that. And honestly, guys, I don't really understand this obsession with Russian women and this idea that Russian women are somehow unique to the rest of the world, because they're not. I mean, I don't know. It's literally the same thing as in the rest of the world. Try to be the most attractive version of yourself. Be funny, be charismatic, be charming, not be a creep. You know, common sense, right? I think Russian women generally like to be treated like princesses, if that makes sense. More so even than girls in the West. So, for example, flowers is a big thing in Russia. As far as I understand, in the West, nobody really gives flowers to women unless it's like a very special occasion. In Russia, it's generally in a pretty good tone. I mean, at least if you're trying to go for a romantic vibe, right? To give a girl flowers, maybe even on the first date. So yeah, I don't know, being gentleman, I guess, and if you want to get a Russian guy, then I don't know, cook for him. Now here's the thing, I'm sitting here and I'm roasting people that are, you know, interested in Russian women, and here's the thing, I understand why people are fascinated with Russian women. First of all, Russian women put a lot of efforts into their looks all the time. It's like in the Russian culture for women to have the perfect makeup always, you know, they always try to look as presentable as possible, you know. So that is why I understand that the perception is that Russian women are like the most beautiful women in the world, and people always talk about Russian women and stuff like that. However, here's another tie-in. I got a really good question about if Russian men are more interested in foreign women than they are in Russian women, and I think this is actually true, and I think it just comes into like the human psychology of the fact that you want something that you can't get and something that seems, you know, unachievable. So, you know, if you're somebody who lives in like the West, in America especially, you see beautiful women of all races around you all the time, right? But I guess there's not that much Russian women, or you just can't tell them apart from like regular American women, whatever, any other European. But when you go over to Russia, oh boy, everyone's beautiful, right? And Russian women are the most beautiful women in the world. Also, I think it comes down to the fact that when you look at beautiful Russian women online, literally everybody looks like they come from a, like, there should be 14 words blasted off the picture, if you know what I mean, right? And also everybody thinks that all Russian women are like base tradwives that are like rejecting Western feminism and stuff like that, which is just absolutely not true. Russian women are not the tradwives you're looking for, okay? They're just women. That's literally it. But I see this in Russia online all the time, how Russian men, Russian guys like my age, are simping big time for foreign women. Any kind of race, any kind of nation, just foreign, just not Russian. They're like, oh my god, they're the best. I wish I could date like an American girl as opposed to a Russian girl. They're so much cuter, you know, they're so much better at dressing, whatever. So yes, it's very much the same thing here. You want something that you can't get. When you're a Russian guy living in Russia, you see Russian women around you all the time and you're like, yeah, I want to date that American chick. She's more beautiful than any of these women I see around me. And when you're stuck in America, you see all these American women around you, and you're like, yo, Russian women are the most beautiful. But at the end of the day, I just don't think that Russian women are more beautiful than any other type of women. And I don't think that American women are more beautiful than Russian women. I think women are just beautiful in general. I don't know. Do you personally know any gay people in your city? And if you do, how are their lives? This is a pretty good question. Honestly, I know a few now. This sounds funny, but I knew zero gay people until like a year ago, I would say. I mean, once again, this is one of the things that you don't really know unless you talk to these people. You know, in the West, you have gay people that you sometimes can't even tell, and they don't really put it out there. And there's also flamboyant gay people that, you know, you can very much see in their mannerisms. But I would say that in Russia, even if a person is gay, they try a lot to kind of hide it. So a lot of people are very closeted with it in Russia, if that makes sense. So I might know a lot more gay people than I think I do, and I just have no idea they are, because, you know, nobody wants to get beat up by gopniks for looking and, you know, being different. So of course people hide that stuff. So yeah, here's actually a little anecdote. I've actually been to a gay club in my city, Chelyabinsk. Yes, believe it or not, they exist. And no, I did not get beat up by anybody, surprisingly. First of all, there were more women in that club than any other club I've seen in my life, and they were also much more attractive women that I would usually see in a straight club. I'm just saying. And also, like, when I came into this gay club, I expected to see like the super flamboyant, you know, like stereotypically gay dudes in there, but they have like, but the majority of the crowd was like some 40-year-old dudes that look like they work at as a cab driver or something, you know, like somebody that I would think is a regular Russian boomer is at a gay club. And I was like, yeah, I guess my concept of gay people is just very much distorted, and not everybody has to be flamboyant and everything, and people that look like regular Russian dudes can also be gay people, so you never know. How are you managing your time? Because I have a girlfriend, gaming, YouTube, studies, friends, etc. Lack of sleep and existential depression. You know, I'm on a grind and I gotta grind. That's just my outlook on it, you know. I don't want to slack. I want to spend my time as productively as possible usually. So yeah, I mean, you find time, you know, you don't sleep. Work ethic, get yourself one. Is renting in Russia costly for students? I would say yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys need to look at everything in a context. So when I tell you guys that, I mean, to rent an apartment in my city, you probably need like 10,000 rubles, and it won't be really a central apartment, but it will be a fine enough apartment for a student especially. And you guys might be like, 10,000 rubles for an apartment for a month? That's ridiculous, I'm gonna move to Russia. Yeah, but you gotta understand that those 10,000 rubles, or maybe a little bit more actually sometimes, you gotta understand that a student in Russia working as like a part-time job probably, your monthly salary would probably be barely 20,000 rubles or something like that, probably even less. So essentially 10,000 rubles at that point is half of your monthly earnings, and that doesn't make it so cheap, does it? So yeah, rent is actually a pretty expensive thing in Russia, and it's a major thing that people spend a lot of their monthly earnings on. So I just want you guys to understand that you gotta put everything into context. So when you see cheap rents and cheap products, you know, cheap alcohol, whatever in Russia, you gotta understand that the salaries here are also so much lower. How did your parents react to your channel at first? Were they supportive or skeptical about it? Yeah, definitely very skeptical. I would say that my parents, I mean, I think it's generally a thing for any kid that spends a lot of time at their computer. You know, your parents are always like, why are you sitting at the computer for? You know, you're spending way too much time on your computer. But they don't know you're building an empire, okay? My mom never really cared, to be honest with you. She was just like,
you spend far too much time with your computer. It's not healthy.
It's my life. That's so very, very sad. One thing that's changed though is that when I actually started getting money, when I actually started getting paid from YouTube as like a job, that's when my parents switched up. And at first they actually couldn't believe it. For example, remember in 2014, I first started getting my first YouTube like advertising revenue, whatever. Very little money back in the day. Maybe I could earn like $100 a month, something like that. And at that point, I was being paid on PayPal, and I actually couldn't yet transfer my money from PayPal to my real bank account. And so I told my parents like, hey, I'm actually starting to earn a little money on the internet, on YouTube. And they were like, get out of here. You're earning money on the internet? Who do you think you are? And my stepdad actually, he said that, oh, I don't believe it. That money you're earning is not real. You're probably being scammed or something. Yeah, this is not real money. You can't spend it or anything. It's not real money. Well, guess what? Who was right in the end, huh? Look at me now. Oh, look at me now. Yeah. I'm getting paid per thrift blazer, 140 rubles at a thrift shop. I'm balling like crazy. So yeah, short answer, they were very skeptical, but once the money started coming in, then they believed me. I've also got a couple of questions about whether I've ever been like attacked or like name called or whatever for my appearance, for like my hair, my dressing style. And the answer is, I mean, yeah, definitely. I do feel like sometimes I get judging looks from people. I've never really been approached and like when somebody tried to attack me because of the way I dress or because of my haircuts, but I've got some comments. For example, a few weeks ago, I was walking down the street in my hoods and there was like some drunk guy. He had like a beer bottle in his hand and he was like, "Слышь, постригись, ёпта!" I just looked at him and just walked by, and that was really it. There were also a few times when I've unironically been misgendered in Russia. And I mean, how hard is it to misgender me when I'm 6'4", okay? Do you have 6'4" women just walking around? But yeah, I've been misgendered a couple of times, actually in an innocent way where a person would immediately be like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," and apologize to me, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I mean, I guess I have long hair and I'm skinny, but I'm 6'4" for God's sake. However, there's been like maybe 2 cases where I was misgendered, like ironically, like as a jab. For example, one time I was in the store and I was buying something and there was like some drunk guy once again, and he was like talking to the cashier and he was like, "Okay, I'll buy this after this guy or girl or whatever it is makes his purchase." So he like described me as some ungodly creature that can't decide whether he's male or female or whatever. And I just looked at him like, okay, this guy's a dumbass, I'm just gonna leave. I mean, what's the point of starting a fight with some retard? But yeah, there's never been a case where somebody would walk up to me and be like, "Why are you wearing that?" You know? And yeah, guys, I guess that is going to be pretty much all the questions I wanted to answer for today's video. If you guys did enjoy this video, if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to once again follow my Instagram so you can ask a question next time I make one of these. And also, guys, make sure to slap the like on this video if you enjoyed it. And if you guys want to support my channel, make sure to go over to the Patreon link down in the description to my Patreon page, donate to it. I would gladly appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. As well, guys, you can buy my YouTube's figurine. Once again, YouTubes are these little things that you can buy as little like figurines to decorate your house and also support your favorite creators. Yeah, guys, once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.